Today I'm going to be looking at the Jabba the Hutt, Slave Leia, and Salacious B. Crumb 3-pack. This is a 3-pack of Funko Pop figures. It's an exclusive to Walmart that's just started showing up in stores recently. I've been seeing a lot of these pop up on eBay from resellers just in the last few days, so I think they're just starting to make their way into stores. I believe they showed up at my store just today, basically this morning, so this is the first chance I've had to see them. It retails for $29.97, and I think probably it'll be showing up on Walmart.com eventually, but you might want to be careful in that I found that a lot of these boxes, if you care about the box, that is, they look like they had some damage just, from shipping and being put on the shelf in the store. So I have a feeling that if you get them from Walmart.com, that you're not going to get a fantastic condition box. Speaking of the box, it's got a large sort of cellophane window here, which is one area that can be damaged. It's actually quite a large box for pop figures. On the back, they show some other Star Wars figures, a few of them related to Jabba, like Bib Fortuna there, and Princess Leia as Bosch. I'm going to be showing a few other ones later on in the video that you might want to display with this. So, without any further ado, let's break this open and see what it looks like. Okay, here we have the set outside of the box. As you can see, it comes with 3 figures, and also this cardboard throne, which is a nice touch. It's basically like a cardboard box, but it's included in the box for the set itself, and you don't have to do anything to it. You don't have to assemble it or, take it out of the box, cut it out of the box, anything like that. So I appreciate them doing this. It gives it a really nice look on display. Now, as you can see, if you compare Leia, which is the normal pop figure size, to Jabba, this is really quite a sizable set, and Jabba himself is very imposing in size. I'm really pretty impressed with it. Now, I'd like to look at each of these figures individually, if I can. First, I think we'll start with Salacious Crumb, because he's a totally new character. We haven't had a Salacious Crumb in the past in the Funko Pop line. He is smaller than a normal pop figure, and he's also seated, which is unusual. He's got a little pillow here. And he is also adorable. Seriously, this is probably my favorite of the pop figures that I own. Is really cute, except, maybe for Jabba, but really well done here. I'm pleased with this. Next, we'll go to Leia. Leia is also seated, which is, as I said, kind of unusual for this kind of figure. Now, they had previously released a Leia figure, Slave Leia, and that is this one right here. If you look at them, you can see that the sculpts are actually, for the head anyway, identical, I think. They look identical to me. Perhaps, well, let's see here. Actually, yeah, look at that. Her braid, if I can see it, is shorter, which I guess makes sense. But other than that, they appear to be the same. Bodies, of course, are different. And the paint on the hair is also different. This one is more of a brown color, and it's a matte color. It's not shiny at all, whereas this one is a reddish brown, and it's got a bit of a gloss to it. They both look good, but, well, it is different anyway. This one's a little top-heavy. Well, they're both top-heavy, but this one has a stand. This one, without a stand, could potentially fall over, I think. Now we're going to look at the big guy himself, Jabba. He's pretty huge for a pop figure, I'll tell you that. And, yeah, he's got an imposing look to him. Now, if we compare him to the previously released Jabba figure, you can see how much bigger it is, especially sort of his body is much larger. They made this one to be more or less the same size as a normal humanoid pop figure, same height. Whereas this one might be a little bit closer to what Jabba is in people's minds, although, you know, as I've said in the past, people tend to overestimate how gigantic Jabba was. I mean, he was big, but he wasn't gigantic. I think if I had to choose, this one might actually be closer to the actual Jabba in size, but in terms of how people think about him, I would go with this one. Similar paint jobs, but not identical by any means. This one, it's cast in this green color, and then it looks like they've got some airbrushing, maybe to put a little color on, a little shading. I can't quite tell. And of course it's got these patches of color here on his front, which are sort of a peach color. Whereas this one, it is this color, it's this light green color in the plastic, but then they've gone and they've put a dark green on the back. Got a little problem with the paint there. And then they have, you know, it's kind of nicely shaded, gradiated here. And in the front we have more of an orangey tan color than this peach color we have here. I'd probably go with this one in terms of color. Yeah, actually overall I'd go with this one. The only thing I would say is if you look on the bottom here in particular, it's noticeable. There's this, which is I think coming from a wash that they've applied. And at least on mine, it comes off looking like he's dirty as opposed to, you know, looking like shading or anything, which is not great. Now, one other difference, if you can look at his arm, they've added his tattoo, which is not present. If it'll focus, there we are, is not present on the previous figure. So there we go. I'm definitely going to be retiring this guy and putting him somewhere else. And adding Jabba here to the large Jabba to my Jabba the Hutt display. I have a sort of a Jabba's Palace display where I have all the Funko Pop figures that could conceivably go into Jabba's Palace. And in fact, I'd like to show you some of those right now. They recently released this Bib Fortuna figure, which I think would be a no-brainer if you're wanting to make a Jabba's Palace display. They also re-released this Leia as Bosch figure. And, you know, if you want to be technical about it, you shouldn't have her and Slave Leia in the same display, but I usually just go ahead and do that because they all seem like Jabba's Palace characters to me. Another one that would be a good choice would be the Gamorrean Guard, of course. That's one of my favorites. We have C-3PO, who can serve as his translator. They have an R2-D2 figure, but it's not a drink-serving R2-D2 figure, and I don't know, I could certainly see him going in the display, but I don't have one at the moment. Similarly, we have Jedi Luke. Now, Jedi Luke here, if you want to be technical, has his black glove on, which means that this is a post-Jabba's Palace Luke and not the one that was actually at Jabba's Palace, but we're not going to quibble. And finally, of course, we have Boba Fett, who would be a good choice, I think, for any Jabba's Palace display. It's too bad we don't have a Hun and Carbonite to go with him at the moment, but I imagine that will be coming at some point. Let's put him maybe back here. If you liked this video, please click the like button. And if you'd like to see more reviews of Star Wars merchandise or videos about Jabba the Hutt and Jabba the Hutt merchandise, please feel free to subscribe. I don't collect all of the Funko Pop figures, but I'll be definitely adding some more to my collection in the future, so stay tuned.